Hello, welcome to or back to my channel. My name is Stevie. This is Stevie Reads, and today we are doing episode 6, I believe, of Read It or Unhaul It. Very self-explanatory video. I have a jar full of all of the physical books on my shelves that I have not read yet. There's a little over 300 in here, which I know is an absolutely ridiculous amount of books. Kind of the point why I'm doing this video, but this is just a nice way to pick up some books that, maybe I wouldn't have picked up this month and either read it or unhaul it. All of the different colors are a different genre, and in the last episode, I purposely picked what color I wanted to read. Before that, I had only done blind polls. I asked you guys in the comments which you preferred, and I got 2 people who let me know. So thank you to them, but one person said they preferred when I did the blind poll. One person said they preferred when I got to pick the genre. So you guys were zero help. Thank you so much. But I think in this episode, I'm going to do a little bit of a mix of both. Right now, I have no idea what I'm in the mood to read. So I'm going to do a blind poll, and then maybe for the second book, I'll purposely pick a different color to read something else. But yeah, I'm so nervous, like always. This is always terrifying to pick a color out of here, but I'm just going to go for it. Let's pick a book. Hopefully it's something amazing, and I don't want to unhaul it, but fingers crossed. The hard part is to just not spill all the papers out everywhere. I have too many books in here. Yellow. Okay, this is the one color we have not picked, so pretty crazy. But yellow is my young adult shelf, so it could be young adult contemporary, sci-fi, or fantasy. Okay, let's see. Oh my god, if I could open it. Where Dreams Descend. Okay, let's see. Where Dreams Descend by Janelle Angelis. I don't really want to read this. Ugh. No offense to YA, but I started off my year reading 3 young adult books. I reread the entire Cruel Prince trilogy. It's a video on my channel if you're interested. And I love those books, so I had a great time, but I feel kind of like YA'd out. And the last time I did a big unhaul, I almost unhauled this book and I kept it for some reason, but I don't really want to read it. Oh no. Am I even gonna try, or am I just gonna unhaul it? We got 3 characters, a showgirl, a keeper of the club, and then a magician. We're set at like a circus. Oh, let's read the first line. Never come to Hellfire House without wearing a mask. Guys, I don't want to read this. I think I'm not even gonna try. I really was like, I almost unhauled this probably 2 months ago when I had to like rearrange my young adult shelf. I think I kept it because it's beautiful, which is no reason to keep a book, and I have zero interest in reading it, so I think I'm gonna unhaul it and not even try. Oh, that sucks. Okay, but I'm unhauling this. Sorry to Where Dreams Descend. I'm sure it's a great book. I mean, I don't know. We're gonna pick another book. Oh my god, okay. Anyway, take 2. Let's try that again. Hopefully it's not a young adult book. Fuck! It's a light blue, which means it's historical fiction or a classic. Okay, okay, this is not good. Oh no. Oh, Rebecca, I read this. Oh, okay. Okay, I read this. Nobody panic. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I have a video on my channel, actually. I read this in December and gave it 4 stars and loved it. This was a stunning classic, okay? So, Rebecca, I read this book, and we're picking a 3rd one. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. This book better be a winner. If I pick 3 out of here that I, like, have either read or don't want to read, oh my god, okay. Be a good color. Just be a good color. Purple. Okay, purple is adult fantasy, which all I've been reading lately is fantasy, but that's fine because fantasy is gorgeous. So let's see. The Familiar. Okay, this is Leigh Bardugo. One second. The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Okay. This is kind of a newer release. I think it came out last year. Yeah, 2024. And then I don't know the full synopsis of this, but I think it's a vampire story. Okay, it doesn't outright say it's a vampire book, but that's the vibe that I'm getting. It's set in Madrid. Our main character, her name is Luizia, and she garners the notice of Antonio Perez. He's a disgraced secretary of Spain's king. A war is happening and he's trying to like gain the king's favor. It says Luizia plunges into a world of seers and alchemists, holy men and husketeers, where the lines between magic, science, and fraud are never certain. Me and Leigh Bardugo have had an interesting relationship. I liked Ninth House. I still haven't read Hellbent. I owned the Shadow and Bone series, and then I unhauled that before I even tried it. Very much a Where Dreams Descend type situation. I just lost interest in that series, but the Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom I ate up and I absolutely loved it. And also the end papers are covered in pomegranates, which always makes me think Hades and Persephone. I don't know if that's like kind of a theme of the story, but we got pomegranates everywhere. And I always read the very first line with you, so let's see where we're starting. Chapter 1. If the bread hadn't burned, this would be a very different story. Ooh, very Hunger Games. I'm getting Katniss and Peeta bread burning. I also want to know how long it is. 379 pages. Okay, so a little less than 400. She's a chunky girl, but cool. I haven't owned this for too long, and I also haven't heard a lot of people talk about it since it's come out, so we'll see if I like it. Fingers crossed. But I do need to get headed into work. Sorry for like the rush of this intro, but I gotta get going, and I'll let you know once I make it like a decent chunk of the way through this book what I'm thinking about it. Hello, couple of days later. It is Saturday morning right now, and I have gotten up to page 194, chapter 29 of The Familiar. I think I'm like a little bit over halfway, but I'm fully in the story now and can let you know what I'm thinking. I think that the beginning was so strong. Like the first 50 pages, I was really into this book. With the writing and everything, I honestly was like, this could be a full 5 stars. At the beginning of the story, we are in 2 perspectives. The main character, I think you say her name Luizia, but she is a maid in a woman's house. The woman is the other perspective, Valentina. And Valentina is older, she's married to her husband, but she's kind of just in like a loveless marriage, and they have no kids. And then they have 2 people who work in the house, a cook and a maid. And the maid is Luizia. She has a little bit of magic, just little things like she can fix burnt bread and change it to be like a perfect golden brown. She can make 6 eggs into a dozen, or like hem a torn skirt just by singing to it. Like she'll put her hands over something and hum a little song, and then, you know, the eggs will double or the torn hem will be resewn. She doesn't even fully understand her magic, but she's just learned things from reading and from the women in her family. And then Valentina, she is a pretty miserable character. She admits in her perspective that torturing her staff and everything is pathetic, but she's like, I have nothing better to do. Like her husband doesn't like her. She has friends, but like on the grand scheme of the nobility, she's like lowest on the totem pole. They really don't have a lot of money. She's just bored every day. But then she discovers Luizia's gift, and finally like there's some excitement in her life, and she invites guests over to her house and makes Luizia show them her magic. And Luizia does it, but she also takes that opportunity to ask Valentina for more money, and Valentina doesn't have any more money, and she's like, you know, you should be grateful you even have a job. I'm gonna kick you out on the street. And Luizia's like, no, I don't think you're gonna do that, because I could get a job as a maid in any of these other houses and they'd probably pay me better. So Valentina literally gives her like the pearl off of her ear just to keep her living where she is. But of course, people in the town hear about this woman who can do magic, and because she's a woman and it's like a historical fiction setting, everyone automatically thinks that she's doing the devil's work and thinks that she's like a witch. You know, any historical book, they're gonna have the conversations on being a woman and having to rely on a man for everything, and Louisa doesn't have a husband, doesn't have a father, and so having this magic and this gift, she's like, this is the way that I'm gonna be able to provide for myself. Like, working as a maid, she's young but she already feels old. Like, her hands hurt, her back hurts, she's been sleeping on like bags of flour. She needs help, but her only family member is her aunt, who just tells her, like, stop using your magic, it's really dangerous, like, just go back to the way things were. But Louisa is not interested in going back to the way things were. She's tired of the way that it's been, so she starts just being like entertainment for bored nobility. She's getting better wages, she actually gets to sleep in a bed, and then Antonio shows up, and Antonio, he was the king's secretary, but now he's not in the king's favor anymore, and he takes an interest in Louisa and gets her to move out of where she's living. And Louisa, you know, she just wants better for herself, but she's towing the line of she doesn't want to be too powerful to look like a threat or a danger to anybody, but she also doesn't want to seem too powerless to where she is basically just like a court jester for the king. And also she meets Gullion, I think that's how you say his name. He is an immortal familiar, which that's the name of the book, so I don't really know what that means, but he has his own kind of magic that's different than Louisa's, and he's trying to understand hers, but she doesn't even fully understand her magic herself. And a little bit of a romance seems like it's brewing between them, but I'm not fully interested in the romance. Like, I don't super feel that tension. And so yeah, that's everything that's happened and that's where I'm at in the story. I do hope I can finish this today. Like I said, it is Saturday, it's snowing outside, and I have no intention of leaving the house, so hopefully I can finish this. But yes, I was so interested in the beginning and it's just gotten a little bit more boring as it's gone on, so I'm hoping that the second half picks up. But either way, I am just like trying to get through it today, and I'm really excited to pick another book out of the jar. It's only a little bit after 10 a.m. so yeah, hopefully I can finish that early in the day, pick another book, and be able to start that and like get a little bit of a ways through it. But I think I'm gonna pick the color for the next time I pull, just because I've been reading so much fantasy. I'm in the mood to read something like set in, you know, our world, but I don't know if I'm feeling more like mystery thriller vibe or more just like contemporary fiction. So I'm gonna sit on that, but I think my next book, I just want it set in this world. Okay. Hello. A lot later in the day, I have the tiniest bit of sunlight to film this clip, but I just barely finished The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. And unfortunately, I am landing on a 3-star for my rating. Not that 3 stars is a terrible rating or anything. I actually think I'm going to keep my copy of the book because I do think the writing was pretty beautiful at times. And like I told you earlier, I thought the beginning of the story was super strong. I like how it ended because the last chapter put a little smile on my face. It was just kind of the entire middle that was a little bit of a slog to get through. Just kind of boring, and it was a labor of love to get through. Happy that I read it. It was a book knocked off my TBR, if nothing else. But yeah, it was just the plot itself that was a little bit lacking, and super random comparison, but it did make me think of Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi. I haven't read this series since high school, I think, so it's been a while, but it made me think of it because, you know, we're following a girl with a power she doesn't fully understand, and the people who are in power are using her or trying to use her as a weapon, and, you know, she's just trying to navigate her own strength and also like trying to pick what side she's on and everything. So yeah, kind of random. It made me think of Shatter Me, but the romance and everything, like how it all wrapped up, cute, I guess, but yeah, it just didn't make me care all that much, and it pushed me away from the fantasy genre. I just want a break from that for right now. And we are standing right here because I'm going to pick an adult contemporary literary fiction for my next read. Don't know why, just feeling in the lit fic mood. So without further ado, the color that I am looking for is the like coral salmony pink. Just the straight bright pink is romance. Yeah, we're looking for the coral. And I don't want to pick one on the top. I'm going to try to, there's one in the middle here. Okay. Whew. So scary. I just hope it's something good, and something short would be stunning. Ask again, yes. Okay. That's on the top. Ask Again Yes by Mary Beth Keene. I think I got this from the thrift store, or maybe it was a library book sale, but I got this so long ago. How Much Can a Family Forgive? A profoundly moving novel about two neighboring families in a suburban town, the bond between their children, a tragedy that reverberates over 4 decades, the daily intimacies of marriage, and the power of forgiveness. Okay. Interesting. Let us read the first line together. Prologue is in July 1973. Francis Gleason, tall and thin in his powder blue policeman's uniform, stepped out of the sun and into the shadow of the stocky stone building that was the station house of the 41st Precinct. One of the main characters is a cop. Okay. Well, the prologue is in 1973, so I wonder when the story is set. Maybe just current day. And then how many pages? Oh, yeah, it was a library sale. And that's why this is all like destroyed. It's not the nicest edition, but that's fine. 388 pages. Okay, so same as The Familiar. It's like just a little bit less than 400. That is fine. I do just kind of love this cover with like the houses. But yeah, this is definitely an older book. I have no idea when it was published. Published May 2019. So 2019, I probably got it in like 2020 maybe. So I've owned this for a very, very long time and obviously never picked it up. I guess I just need an excuse to. So cool. I'm gonna get started on this tonight. And then since we're like a little under 400 pages, I'll probably update you around like the 200 page mark. But cool. We're following 2 different families. And I bet there's a whole bunch of drama. So I'll let you know what's going on. Hi, it's the next day, Sunday afternoon. I've spent a lot of my morning reading and I think I'm about halfway through. Got up to chapter 12, which is page 193. And I was right when I predicted a whole bunch of drama because, oh my god, every single character in this book is going through it. And it would probably be really hard for me to explain what's going on without being spoilery or like to make it interesting. But, you know, we got these 2 families. Both of the dads in the families are cops and they worked at the same precinct. And they moved to this neighborhood outside of the city because New York is very expensive. And, you know, they wanted to be able to have more room for their families. And then we got both of the cops' wives. One of them has 2 girls and one of them has 1 boy. So those are all the characters and we're going into every single person's perspective. A tragedy happens probably around like the 25% mark. Something happens and I don't want to give anything away, but it was wild. So the story since then has kind of just been like the fallout from what happened. And I don't know, I feel interested in the story. I really like the writing and all the characters are really unique. Like sometimes I don't like a story if it's too many perspectives and it's confusing, but no matter whose head you're in, it's very easy to understand because all of the characters are just so different. And yeah, definitely just like a middle class drama between like these neighbors. I'm hoping to read the second half today as well. It's only like 1 o'clock right now. We just barely got back from grocery shopping. And then my mom is gonna be coming over soon in about like an hour. She's bringing 2 of my nieces to just come and hang out. So obviously gonna visit with them while they're here, not gonna just be like reading my book. And then this video doesn't need to go up until Wednesday. So if I can finish this today, I have 2 more days to read 1 more book. Because of that, I want it to be something really quick and easy. So fingers crossed, I'm gonna finish Ask Again Yes later, and then I'm gonna pull another book out of the jar, and it's just gonna be a romance. We can go over to my shelves, but I have 4 shelves of contemporary romance, and then these bottom 2 are romantasy. So there are a couple of big books on that one, and even some chunky books on the contemporary ones, but yeah, that's what I decided for the next pick. Is we're just going to pick a romance book. Hopefully I can read it in a couple of days, and then I will have picked 3 books for this video. Anyway, doesn't matter, but I will come back to you when I finish Ask Again Yes, let you know my rating, and then we will pick our final book, and it's just gonna be a cheeky little romance. Okay, same day, and I did end up finishing Ask Again Yes. I decided to go with the audiobook for like my reading experience, and very happy that I did. I was able to listen to it in 2 days, and it just really worked because I had a lot I wanted to get done around the house today. So I was super productive, and I got to listen to like, a family drama. But the ending message was cute, just talking about how you have to lean on the people you love when you're going through hard times, but that's what family is for and everything. And I don't know where I'm feeling for my rating, like kind of just between a 3 and a 4. So maybe I will say 3.5 to be super picky, but I'm just happy I listened to it so quickly. I think if I took my time reading this and, read it over the span of like a week or something, I would have liked it less because there's so many details. It just feels like one that you need to binge in 2 days, and I enjoyed it while I was listening to it, but I don't feel like in 2 weeks I'm gonna remember literally anything about the plot. So yeah, had a good time, and my Goodreads did say that I added it to my shelf in March of 2020, which terrible time for like world history, but this has been on my TBR for almost 5 years. So yeah, happy that I picked it up. And I am going to pick one last final book. It's just going to be a romance, and half of this freaking jar is pink, so oh, I'm so scared. I just want it to be less than 300 pages. That is my one wish. Like less than 300 and I'm down. Okay, be something small. Scarred Souls. I think this is 2 books in one. Okay, one sec. Raise and Reap, both by Tilly Cole. I think it's a duology, and this book is just both of the stories in one book. So I think I just want to read one. I think I just want to read Raise, and then Reap is like the other book in this story. Do I have to read both? Oh no. How much is the first one? 246 for Raise. And then Reap is, oh, well, it just keeps going. 488 pages total. I only have 2 days. I have to go into work Monday and Tuesday. So I just want to read Raise, and we'll see if I want to keep it. Maybe I will finish Raise and be like, I hate this and unhaul it. Who knows? Hopefully that's not the case. Let me see the synopsis on the back. Both of them are on the back right here. Okay, so the main dude's name is Raise. That is terrible. And then the girly, her name is Kisa. She's the only daughter of the head of the infamous Red Bosses of New York's Russian Bratva. So she is like a mob boss's daughter. And then Raise is, it says he's been conditioned in captivity to become a dangerous weapon. Prisoner 818 is an unstoppable fighter in the ring. So he's been in like an incarceration underground in this mob boss's gambling ring. That actually sounds very dramatic, and I'm into that. But yeah, I think I'm only gonna have time to read the first one, and then I'll read the second one another time. But okay, prologue. His heart beat like a drum, fast and hard and loud. Okay, cool, I guess. All right, we got our book. I'm gonna get to reading, and since it's like 240 pages, I'll update around 120-ish. I'm just going from one dramatic story to the other, but this is family drama and this is mob boss drama, so really can't wait for this. One day later, it's Monday afternoon, I just got home from work and I was able to get a little bit over halfway through Raise. I got up to chapter 14, so 136, which means I only have 110 pages left before I finish it. And oh my god, this book. It is a dark romance, so it's kind of brutal, but our main girlie is engaged to another man at the beginning of the story. I mean, she's still engaged to him, but then there's this other guy, the prisoner, and his memory has been messed with, so he can't remember her, but they were like childhood friends, so she remembers him, and this book is just so smutty. Immediately, right off the bat, there is a plot to the story, barely, but the plot is just mingled in a little bit here and there in between the smut. So if that's what you're looking for, that's exactly what this book is. And it's just very, very dramatic because of the whole mob boss aspect of it. And yeah, very, very quick, easy read, but it's not a story with a whole lot of substance either. Straight to the point, and it's doing what it says it's gonna do. It's a dark mafia mob boss fight to the death romance, but because of that, this actual story isn't very like romantic. It's just brutal and smutty, and yeah, that's what's happening. But yeah, I literally have 110 pages, so I'm hoping to finish it tonight. Sun's going away. Talk to you later. Welcome to the end of the video. The next day, I just barely finished Raise and immediately went on Goodreads and marked it as 2 stars. That book was terrible. It just got worse and worse. I don't know, I just feel like I lost some brain cells reading this book. It was so bad. Not only was it like crazy predictable, within the first 5% you know exactly what is going to happen in this book. The writing was super simple. The characters were completely two-dimensional, like especially our main girl character. She just kind of did whatever, blew wherever the wind took her. It was not chill. It was not like a fun romance time. Yeah, so I'm giving it 2 stars, and my interest in reading Reap is at 0%. I know we met the main girl character because it is different characters for book 2. The main girl is Raise's sister, and then the guy is another prisoner. So I feel like it's going to be a very copy and paste story to what Raise was. And since I hated Raise, yeah, I'm definitely not going to read the second book, and I am going to unhaul this. So in this video, we got 4 books out of the jar, and I'm unhauling 2 of them, so that's fun. But then also, neither of these were big winners for me as well. The Familiar was a 3-star. So very, very middle of the road. And then Ask Again Yes was, I guess, the best book of the video, but it was still only a 3.5. Like, I just thought the characters were very unique and the story and the pacing always kept me interested. So this was the winner. But unfortunately, there was no new favorites. I guess I'm just in my hater girl era. But having knocked off 4 books off of my physical TBR is amazing. But let me know down below what you thought about any of these books. And if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so, so much for watching. All of my socials are linked down below like always. And I'll see you in the next one really, really soon. Bye!